single US Air Force launch triggers global military monitoring. In an era of instant satellite tracking, open-source intelligence, and real-time radar networks, even a single US Air Force launch can ripple across the globe within minutes. What might once have been a quiet operational event now becomes a widely monitored development, drawing attention from military analysts, foreign governments, and civilian tracking platforms alike. When a high-profile aircraft, missile system, or strategic asset launches from a US base, whether in the continental United States or abroad, it rarely goes unnoticed. Modern surveillance ecosystems ensure that adversaries and allies alike are watching. The result is a phenomenon where one takeoff can trigger a chain reaction of global military monitoring. Why a single launch matters. Not all launches carry the same weight. Routine training flights occur daily. However, certain categories of launches immediately raise global alert levels. Strategic bombers, intercontinental ballistic missile ICBM tests, hypersonic weapon tests, high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft, electronic warfare platforms. The reason is simple: these assets are associated with escalation potential, deterrence signaling, or strategic shifts. When one of these systems launches, especially without prior public explanation, foreign early warning systems often activate enhanced monitoring protocols. Their movements often signal deterrence posture shifts, joint exercises, or readiness demonstrations. Even if the mission is a training sortie, adversaries cannot afford to assume that missile launches and early warning systems. Ballistic missile tests generate even greater attention. When the United States conducts a test of systems such as the Minuteman III, global early warning networks detect the launch almost immediately. Russia, China, and other nuclear-armed states operate satellite-based infrared detection systems designed to identify missile plumes within seconds. These systems are not optional, they are essential to nuclear deterrence doctrines. Even though missile tests are often pre-notified under arms control agreements, monitoring still occurs in real time. Radar installations track trajectory, velocity, and splashdown points. In nuclear strategy, verification is critical. Trust is secondary to confirmation. Even if the launch is announced as a test, its technological implications drive concern. The role of open-source intelligence. One of the defining features of modern military monitoring is the role of open-source intelligence OSINT. Civilian flight tracking platforms, satellite imagery providers, and independent analysts often detect unusual activity within minutes. A transponder signal from a tanker aircraft, a NOTAM notice to airmen restricting airspace, or a sudden runway closure can spark widespread speculation. This means a single US Air Force launch is no longer observed only by governments. It is analysed by thousands of civilians worldwide. Information spreads across social media in real time, amplifying awareness and sometimes misinformation. 2. Capability analysis. Foreign intelligence agencies study flight patterns, refueling behaviour, speed, and routing to better understand operational doctrine. For example, a bomber flying directly toward a contested region carries different implications than one conducting a circular training route over domestic airspace. 3. Readiness evaluation. Changes in launch frequency can indicate shifts in military readiness. A surge in activity might suggest preparation for crisis response, major exercises, strategic deterrence operations. Patterns matter as much as individual events. The psychological dimension. Military launches carry a psychological impact beyond operational reality. In deterrence theory, perception is often more influential than action. A single visible launch can reassure allies, deter adversaries, Influence diplomatic negotiations. Shape media narratives. For example, if tensions rise in a particular region and a US strategic aircraft launches shortly afterward, the timing alone may alter strategic calculations even if the mission was pre-scheduled. Visibility equals influence. Escalation risks and communication channels. Case study: rapid global tracking. In previous high-profile events, a single bomber launch or missile test has resulted in immediate satellite tracking by rival powers, activation of naval radar systems, public analysis by defense experts, media headlines within hours. This pattern underscores how interconnected military monitoring has become. No major launch occurs in isolation. Technology has compressed reaction time. Modern detection systems drastically reduce response time. Where Cold War-era monitoring might have involved delayed radar sweeps and classified reporting, today's networks operate with near-instantaneous data sharing. Force readiness demonstrations, alliance exercises, strategic signaling. However, because certain platforms carry nuclear or advanced strike capabilities, no responsible military ignores them. Chinese satellite constellations, regional air defense forces. In this environment, transparency and deterrence coexist with uncertainty. Conclusion: a single US Air Force launch can trigger global military monitoring, not because war is imminent, but because modern defense systems are designed to assume nothing. Strategic bombers, missile tests, and advanced aircraft movements carry implications far beyond their immediate mission profiles. Allies watch for reassurance. Adversaries watch for warning signs. Analysts watch for patterns. In today's hyper-connected security landscape, ignition is only the beginning. Within moments, radar screens light up across continents, satellites pivot into position, and intelligence cells begin analysis. One launch, global attention. If you found this breakdown insightful, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts on how modern military monitoring shapes global stability. Stay informed and join the conversation on the evolving dynamics of strategic defense.